My name is Mac Fabrico, and today I'll be talking about McDonald's transparency case. In this case, McDonald's attempts to recover from their hashtag McDStories campaign, which was supposed to allow consumers to share their positive experiences with McDonald's. However, it resulted in a flow of negative comments about the company. In reaction to this, McDonald's launched the Our Food, Your Questions campaign in an attempt to be more transparent with its audience. First, I'm going to talk about the broad rhetorical strategies of this case, which are ethos, pathos, and logos. The first broad rhetorical strategy we will examine in this case is ethos. Ethos is comprised of both competence and community. Competence is an organization's ability to demonstrate that it can accomplish its goals, that it can produce a product or deliver a service that meets societal standards. By addressing the issues and providing ways to fix these problems, McDonald's showed its audience that it is competent enough to accomplish its goals. As for community, in order to be accepted, an organization must demonstrate that it operates as a responsible member of the larger community. By developing the Our Food, Your Questions campaign, McDonald's proved to its audience that it has the best interest of the community in mind. Through videos, social media posts, and even changes being made to the company, this campaign helped the audience gain trust in McDonald's. The next strategy, pathos, consists of a variety of different concepts, the first of which is needs. Redders recognize that humans have needs, and by appealing to those needs, they can persuade their audience to change their thought, feeling, or action. In the Our Food, Your Questions campaign, McDonald's was able to identify the needs of their audience and make a change to make sure that need is met. For example, customers were asking about an all-day breakfast menu, and a few years later, this need was satisfied. The next concept deals with values, which are generally agreed upon ideas of what is right or wrong or good and bad in a society. Values advocacy can accomplish one of three goals: enhance the image of the organization, help minimize the impact of criticism of an organization, or help prepare audiences to accept future arguments about policy issues. In this case, McDonald's used values advocacy to help minimize the impact of criticism from the hashtag McDStories campaign. By introducing the Our Food, Your Questions campaign, McDonald's was able to recover from the negative comments and recognize what its audience values, which in turn allowed the company to adopt these values. The final concept is identification, which centers around the idea that people get their identities in part from being the groups they belong to. By engaging with their consumers in the Our Food, Your Questions campaign, McDonald's was able to take what its consumers suggested and put it into action, allowing their audience to identify with them as a brand. The final strategy, logos, refers to the use of arguments and reasoning. Through claims, evidence, and reasoning, McDonald's utilizes logos. The first part of logos is the claim, which is the conclusion of any argument. In this case, McDonald's claims to be listening to their audience and making the changes that are suggested. The emphasis is on transparency. They are also claiming to use certified chicken meat, ethically sourced coffee beans, and milk free from artificial hormones. The next concept, the evidence, is what backs up the claims. In its Our Food, Your Questions campaign, McDonald's shared a variety of content, including 2 videos that showcase the company's beef suppliers in California and their chicken nugget manufacturer in Tennessee. The videos display how the beef and nuggets are inspected and processed. These videos, among many others uploaded on YouTube, actually show the places where McDonald's sources its food from. The final aspect of logos is reasoning, which is the connection between claim and evidence. McDonald's reasoning in this case is because it is what the target audience is looking for. In today's society, millennials especially are constantly looking for ethically sourced and sustainable food options. By showing their audience exactly what they are doing and making changes that please consumers, McDonald's is supporting its reasoning. Now I'm going to provide an analysis of the rhetorical situation. We will look at exigencies, audiences, constraints and assets, and recurring situations. An exigence is an opportunity marked by urgency. In the McDonald's case, the hashtag McDStories campaign was a fully unanticipated exigency, with potentially negative results. The campaign was meant to create a space where consumers could share their stories and positive experiences with McDonald's. However, what resulted was a slew of tweets and social media posts telling horror stories about McDonald's. The company did not anticipate this type of result at all. However, McDonald's used this exigence as an opportunity to be more transparent with their audience, introducing Our Food, Your Questions, shortly after the failed hashtag McDStories campaign. Next, I will talk about the audiences. Enabling audiences are composed of people who allow the organization to operate. In McDonald's case, this would be stockholders and investors. These are the people supplying the money that allows the company to exist. Functional audiences are the individuals or groups that help the organization function on a day-to-day basis. For McDonald's, this would be its employees, customers, and suppliers. Normative audiences consist of individuals in organizations that face similar challenges. In this case, it would be other fast food restaurants like Burger King or Chick-fil-A. The final audience is the diffused audience, which are individuals that are further removed from the organization, yet still have an interest and potential influence. In this case, it would be those that are concerned about sustainable foods, those that support fast food restaurants but not McDonald's, and those that are exposed to the McDonald's campaign. Next, I will talk about constraints and assets. A constraint is anything that may have an impact on the likelihood that the message will be able to address the situation in the desired way. In this case, some of the constraints are that people may still have a negative opinion from the hashtag McDStories campaign. People may not believe that their questions are being answered honestly, and the audience may have an already negative view of the company that may be hard to change. An asset is a factor that might work in the redder's favor. A large asset of this case is transparency. By answering every question they receive and sharing videos in order to answer these questions, McDonald's is being as transparent as they have ever been. This situation is certainly recurring. For as long as I can remember, fast food restaurants have constantly been questioned about their food and where it is sourced from. The main concept that impacts this situation is transparency. The problem is that these fast food chains are not at all transparent about their food, making consumers question if it is safe to put in their bodies. By launching the Our Food, Your Questions campaign, McDonald's took a huge stride in being transparent about where their food is coming from. However, even after that campaign, McDonald's is still questioned all of the time about their food. The next section of this presentation will be covered by my partner Kira. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.